Not one, not two, but $12 billion will be liquidated if Bitcoin will start pumping towards $135,000. But Bitcoin is right now trying to reclaim the channel that we are forming since April. Together with that, we are trading below its most important resistance level. So, are the Bitcoin bulls preparing behind the scenes some secret upside movement to liquidate all that bears? Let's analyze. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. In this video we will go through 1 hour, we will go through 4 hour daily and weekly time frame. We will take a look where it's probably safe to have a stop loss, what's going on behind the scenes, etc. In the previous video we have been going through the 1 hour time frame. I have told you that this level right here cannot be broken if we want to go to the upside. As you can see, we have pumped beautifully from that level on 1 hour time frame, ladies and gentlemen. It held beautifully, and right now the question is what's gonna happen next. With the ParadiseFamilyVIPs, we have been executing some long positions. We have been closing at the top, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, for example, Dogecoin short-term trade, we have been closing it at around 23680, ladies and gentlemen, and also we have been creating some spot trade on Gascoin. Definitely read this quote because that's extremely important. This one right here in our mindset channel, free Telegram channel on Telegram to sharpen your mindset. Let's right now go through weekly time frame, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we are creating here the double top formation from 2 shooting candlestick patterns. That's bearish, all right? Some points to bears right here on the weekly time frame. Overall, the weekly time frame is pretty much bearish altogether, all right? Let's calculate more data that we are having. So $121,000, we have tried to break through it, but we couldn't by 2 attempts already, and we have created 2 shooting star candlestick patterns, double top formation as well, and that's also the reason why the bears are right now trying to break below this channel, all right? In January 2025, you can see after we have had some upside movement, what happened after we have got the shooting candlestick pattern together with confirmation from bearish engulfing candlestick pattern that basically engulfed the whole shooting candlestick pattern right here, right? So that was our confirmation. That's also one of the reasons why we have afterwards dropped by 30%. And right now, from the weekly perspective, we need to wait to see how the weekly candle will close. It's closing in 1 day, 9 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Paradisers, if it's gonna close below the ascendant trend line, it's going to be again bearish. It's not confirmed yet, all right? Confirmations needed. We need to see how the weekly candle is going to close, but from the weekly perspective, this is not going to be bullish, all right? So I want to see the weekly candle to be closing at least above $117,000, all right? Together with that, we have this bearish divergence right here. We are still waiting for a confirmation, having the blue line crossing the red line, but altogether, the weekly time frame is not really bullish, and we are waiting for reclaiming the $121,000 on the weekly time frame to be able to say with a great certainty that we will go to $135,000, all right? So from the weekly perspective, you know that what we are waiting for, but because we are professional traders, we are not analyzing only one time frame, right? That would give us some information. It gives us some information for macro trading, for ultra high time frame trading strategies, but we are doing also swing trading, day trading, and scalping. So we need to monitor most of the time frames, right? So most of the important time frames, one of them is also daily time frame. Right here you can see that we are forming the channel. You can see right here on the daily time frame the subwaves. So as you already know, we are creating the zigzag from the previous videos, right? You know exactly what's happening. So ABC, the C subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, 1 2 3 4, which was finished right here. And right now the question is, was this the final 5th one, or is this just a first wave of the 5th one extension? As you know, the 3rd one wasn't extended. That means, as I've already told you in the previous video, that the 5th one needs to be extended. That means the 5th one is a motive mode wave, subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. So this move right here was either the whole 5th wave or just a first wave of the 5th, all right? So what I have told you, what needs to happen, all right, is that we hold above the previous low, which happened, and we have got a nice reaction, nice impulse impulsive reaction with nice volume. As you can see, nice volume. It wasn't above the moving average volume trend line, but it was much better than all the previous days since 14th of August. All right, so nice volume, I'm not gonna lie. And you usually know from the Elliot Wave perspective, this nice volume is usually visible at the first wave of an impulse, right? So usually the first wave of an impulse is such an impulsive candle, all right? And because of that, I'm kind of optimistic. Also, we are trying to, you might say that we are trying to reclaim the channel, which is a possibility. Of course, we need to be, as a professional traders, be prepared for absolutely everything, but I'm not right now shorting. I'm not creating a short swing trade right now just because of this kind of potential reclaim, because I can see that we are trying to push to the upside on a nice volume, all right? On a nice volume. It wasn't a leverage volume. There was loads of spot trading happening, so I kind of like this movement, all right? So I'm not right now without confirmations saying that this is a bearish sign, all right? If it would be a bearish sign, I would want to see the next daily candle to be closing below the 786 Fibonacci retracement level that I have been basically analyzing the sequence based on this previous wave, all right? So for me, this is not bearish yet, all right? But what is actually bullish on this chart is this exaggerated bullish divergence. As you can see on the price action, we have created equal lows, and on the MACD histogram, we have created a higher low, all right? So as you know from our website, mycryptoparadise.com, this is a beautiful textbook example of exaggerated bullish divergence. When the price action is creating equal low, but the indicator is creating higher low, this is basically a signal that the bears are losing momentum, all right? Take a look how much momentum they have been basically wasting at this previous low. Loads of energy, right? Loads of momentum. Now at the same low, take a look at the bearish momentum right here. It's basically much lower, right? So exaggerated bullish divergence, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's confirmed by the decreasement of momentum, but what I want to see as well is a cross of that blue line above the red line. That's going to be a confirmation, but so far this is kinda a bullish sign. So what I'm waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to say with a high certainty that we are going towards that $135,000, which, as you know from the Elliot Wave perspective, is actually one of the guidelines that it needs to be hit, because one of the guideline is that from the zigzag, the A wave is usually the same length as the C wave, right? So if we place it to the bottom of the B wave, this one, we can see it beautifully confluences with the $135,000. Together with that, on 4-hour time frame, at that $135,000, we have the Fibonacci spiral, right? So it's confluencing with that, and from the ultra high time frame perspective, this is the Fibonacci sequence level. So lots of confluences, ladies and gentlemen. I still believe that until we can break below the previous low, which would basically invalidate that this is just a first wave of our impulse, all right? So if this secondary wave, which we are creating most likely right now, if we can hold the price action above the previous low, I'm still favoring upside, okay? I'm still favoring upside, ladies and gentlemen, and a retest of $135,000 before we will go to the downside and before we will start the C wave that will take us with 5 moves towards $44,000. And from the ultra high time frame perspective, the next ultra high time frame target will be $240,000 before the end of 2026, early 2027, in my opinion. So right now on the 4-hour time frame, you can see what's playing nicely is the bullish divergence. We have been creating lower lows after lower lows. I have been giving you an update about this in the previous video. So we have created extended higher lows on the MACD histogram. We have got a bullish cross with this nice pump to the upside. And right now, what's also important is to understand what is not on the chart. So during an upside movement, you are waiting for bearish divergences if you want to play some short, right? But right now, you can see no bearish divergence. So this is actually considered as a bullish signal. You can see we have created a higher high on the chart and higher high on the MACD histogram as well. And this is one of the reasons of who created this bullish movement to the upside. It wasn't just created by leverage, loads of spot volume been going in, and that's why you have no bearish divergence. So I quite like this, ladies and gentlemen. We are now trying to overcome this previous contracting triangle. As you can see, this level $114,000 from 4-hour time frame perspective needs to hold if you want to see more upside. All right, so very important level. If we take a look at the 1-hour time frame chart, we can analyze the price action, so the subwaves of that zigzag. So this was the A wave, B wave, ABC, that was the run-in flat, right? And a C wave, motive mode wave, where I have told you in the previous video that with the highest probability we have concluded that fifth wave right here at this section right here at this zone. Right now what we are seeing is a nice impulsive move to the upside. So was it a motive mode wave? For that we need to shift our focus on 15 minutes time frame so we can understand the subwaves. So the motive mode wave subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. 1, 2, 3, and right now there is a question, all right? And you will understand that even though we don't know exactly if this was the 4th and this was the 5th, and right now we are creating a secondary wave, or if this was the first wave, secondary wave, third wave, and right now we are creating a 4th wave, or if actually the whole count is actually a start of an impulse where this was first, second, third, and right now 4th before we will have 5th lower. It actually doesn't matter for you to make some profit right now from the upcoming price action, because all of these patterns will have one final leg to the upside, right? If it's a secondary wave, it's not going to be a final, it will be actually a continuation, but all of them will have a leg to the upside. So right now, what's important to understand, I'm treating the price action as bull. I'm waiting for confirmations and will be entering into some nice swing trading position after I get confirmations, all right? And I will be creating a long position. Right now, what's important to understand, right here, we can see order book suit, loads of distribution is going on this price action at the highs. It is right now decreasing. I'm waiting for a little bit of accumulation. Also, you can see CVD plus cumulative volume delta on the spot exchange is actually decreasing together with the price action. So we are having a spot selling, which is good because it's usually a retail money, because this is created by market selling order. This is limit order. So I'm waiting for a little bit more accumulation. All right. If we take a look at the open interest, we can see that on the price action lower, it's actually created by loads of leverage because the open interest is increasing. What does it mean? It means that the short positions will be vulnerable for a squeeze, and we can see loads of liquidity is sitting right here at around $120,000, and it is increasing as we are dropping to the downside. What does it mean? It means that more and more short positions are getting in. Right now, from the liquidation perspective, I'm waiting for some long squeeze, so I'm waiting for squeezing $114,000, and I will explain to you why. Because loads of liquidity is setting right there. All right, there are some long positions that they have there some stop losses and liquidation levels, so down to $113,000 we might have a sweep. All right, and it might work nicely for a long entry after confirmations, obviously. Now let's discuss if we will enter a long position, where it should be a great place to place a stop loss. For that, let's analyze the cryptocurrency liquidation max pain on Bitcoin. So if we take a look on 12-hour time frame, we can see the long max pain is at around $113,000. 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen, $114,000, right? 48 time frame, $114,000. $14,000. 3-day time frame, let me see. Again, it's the same thing. 1 weekly time frame, $114,000. 2 weekly time frame, $111,000. 1 month time frame, $111,000. So if we will be strategically positioning ourselves into long positions, definitely I will be placing my stop loss below the previous low. All right, as you already know, it would be an invalidation that this wasn't the first wave of an impulse, right? And the whole count would be incorrect. So we are waiting basically for some confirmations. After that, we might be creating a beautiful risk to reward ratio swing long position, ladies and gentlemen, where our stop loss will be as tight as possible, and our target, as you know, for the third wave, for the possible third wave, is going to be at around $129,000. From the medium time frame perspective, from the high time frame perspective, the whole C wave of that ABC zigzag is gonna finish at around around $135,000. So that will be our last sell target, ladies and gentlemen. So right now, you know exactly what we are waiting for. What is the invalidation? And ladies and gentlemen, what is higher probability right now is absolutely clear. 1 hour time frame has much more bullish points. All right, bulls are winning the low time frame chart. Right now, we are just waiting for the zigzag to be completed, because this is just ABC correction, B wave, the fourth wave, and the secondary wave. All of them are corrective mode waves. All right, so right now we are forming something like a zigzag, it seems, right? Here we have a 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. It would be nice to touch it because it would confluence nicely with the previous 618 Fibonacci retracement level. So a little bit movement to the downside, it would be nice, right? Or that would be for some exposure. Then you can just wait for an impulse to the upside and position yourself on the secondary wave. That's also one of the tactics how you should do it. Also, we are having the bullish divergence right here. It's not confirmed yet. We are waiting for the bullish cross as well, but overall the 1 hour time frame is nicely bullish. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you again on Tuesday. As you know, I'm recording for you every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Smash the like button if you are enjoying these updates, and I will see you again in the next one. Cheers.
My crypto